Good day, sir. My name is Huar. We are from Tutorial 3 and 8, Group 13. I represent my team to speak of Cooper's 6th stage in Senior Cooper K. The 6th stage of Cooper's moral development that Senior Cooper have reached was stage 4, which is maintaining social order at a level 2, conventional morality. The definition of this more mature conventional stage is both right and wrong and depends on one's loyalty towards their nation or society. In order for society to function well, the laws and norms present in the society should be followed properly and adhered to by all members of the society. People can see each other as part of the larger social system and the defined individual role and obligations, and he distinguish there's obligation for what his personal relationship require is because both Senior Cooper and other Edison have a duty to protect the shareholder and employer rights regarding the true performance of the company rather than lie to them. Moreover, Senior Cooper and other Edison are socially responsible to ensure that there is a good behavior in a social environment. In a WorldCom whistleblower article, Scope 7 threatened other Edison angry, risking her job and career. Senior Cooper knew about this and went whistleblowing to the shareholder at the annual general meeting regarding the action of Scope 7 towards other Edison. There was no need for Scott Sutherland and David Emmeyer to ignore the financial problem and commit fraud toward the shareholders and employers of the firms regarding the firm's performance and instead could have used other ways to solve the financial issue at the firms. If a person commit fraud, would result in a lot of problems for both a person and the firm, as news will spread of the person's action to everyone, and eventually everyone will find out about the person's fraud and behave, which would result in a bad reputation for both the firm and the person in society. Besides that, everyone will also lose the trust toward the person, making it very hard or even impossible for them to return to work in the industry, and very hard to find future jobs for themselves.
Another stage that Cynthia Cooper had reached is the 6th stage of moral development, which is the universal moral principle stage. The universal moral principle stage is where the right action is defined by the person's moral principles chosen by their reasonableness, universality, and consistency. This stage also shows individual moral behavior based on the self-awareness of the individual that puts human life, justice, and dignity of the highest level. People at this stage, such as Cynthia Cooper, are willing to accept the punishments and setbacks for the offense committed because they are willing to respect the laws that have been set. For example, because of Cynthia Cooper's whistleblowing, she was to blame for the shareholders of WorldCom losing over $3 billion USD, and also 17 WorldCom workers losing their jobs as well, and the shutdown of the accounting firm known as Arthur Andersen, which was not necessarily a bad thing, as the shutdown was due to the involvement with other accounting frauds at other firms besides WorldCom. Besides that, to this day, many WorldCom managers and employees do not speak to her, and because of that, Cynthia Cooper sometimes cries to herself at home whenever she thinks about the situation and what has happened with people losing their jobs and money and their livelihoods, and people not wanting to talk to her because of that. However, she believes that in the end, it was the right thing to do, as it was based on the values and ethics that she has learned throughout her life and her career.
Hi, I'm Durgeswaran. I'm going to talk about the Carol Gilligan's view. In Cynthia Cooper's action and motive, we can see that her actions totally fits in Carol Gilligan's view. This is because she has reached the conventional stage. At this point, she did not think about herself, but she was worried about others. Even though her whistleblowing behaviors causes her job, but her instinct of being a caring and responsible woman did not stop her. Carol also believes that women tend to develop morality in stages that is similar to Kohlberg's moral stages, which is the pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional. But this is based on research on women. Thank you.
Thanks for Ganesan's statement on Carol's views. My name is Yan Chi. I represent my team to speak of Carol's uniqueness. Carol was so special to believe women were built differently from most of the men. The society should not expect women to behave like the men just to prove they are comparable to men's achievement, because she believes being thoughtful and kind is the nature of women. We think Carol also advocates women to be honest to their nature. At the same time, women shall not shame to put human relationships as their privilege. On the other hand, women should celebrate and be confident that they are kind and compassionate. In short, Carol suggests women to reconsider their characters as strengths, not weakness. Next, I would like to pass to Shin to state his points.
Hi, my name is Shin Aung, and I'll be doing question 3 of Business Ethics and Social Responsibility video/voice recording assignment on William Damon's moral theory and Cynthia Cooper. So firstly, William Damon's moral development theory generally refers to the degree which being a moral person is important to an individual's identity. But there are a number of perspectives on the structure, mechanisms, and dynamics of moral identity. Damon emphasized moral identity as the unity of the moral and self-systems. What differentiates highly moral people from others is the degree to which they experience unity between their sense of morality and their personal goals. In other words, what moral examples one most is also what they see as morally right. So for Cynthia Cooper, being an auditor, she obeys the code of ethics for professional accountants and avoid any self-interest at all costs. Her moral obligation towards her job has overridden her self-interest in securing her job. She also has developed morality as part of herself, and this motivates her to do what is morally right. She became the whistleblower of the fraud due to the values and ethics that are being developed and learned throughout her life. Morality has become a dominant characteristic of herself. Cynthia, who has reached middle adolescence, her self-interest and morality were beginning to integrate conceptually. At this stage of moral development, she saw that morality as an important part of her life. She acted morally, although there was some motivation for her to act immoral. She decided to meet with the audit committee of WorldComs even though she was threatened by Scott, the CFO, that she would be risking her career and her job. She did it by realizing that it is her responsibility to strive to be honest and an integrity person. She did not allow herself to be pressured, and she faced the reality with the current facts, regardless of how hard the situation is, as long as it was the right thing to do. She could also apply the concept of altruism. Altruism is a strong interest, selfless in helping someone. Reciprocity and exchange engage in altruism. Reversals are found throughout the human world too. Reciprocity encourages children to do well to others as they expect others to do the same to them. Perhaps belief is the most important principle in the long run in altruism. In this case, Scott Sullivan moved $400 million from a reserve account and recorded it as an income in the company's public financial reports. Generosity should be available to every person rather than greed. Scott Sullivan and David should not have made a mistake in his account fraud if they did not want to be found guilty. Since the advent of the personal greed, that one is able to do anything to get what they want, guilt can appear on the surface if the child does not respond and anger can happen if someone does not do instead. Not all are motivated by reciprocal altruism and exchange, but the interactions and reactions with others can help us understand the truth of altruism. The conditions most likely to involve altruism are empathic emotional needs of a person suffering or a close relation between donors and those who receive donations. William Demond portrays a sequence of altruism development of children, particularly based on sharing. Until the age of 3 years, sharing is done for the reason that non-empathics. At about 4 years, a combination of awareness and supports adult empathics produce a sense of obligation to share. During the early years of elementary school, the kids are and so indeed demonstrate ideas more objectively about justice. At this time, begin to understand the principle of justice. During the middle of years and end of elementary school, the principles of performance and well understood.
Thank you for listening. That will be our group's complete voice recording.